I don't know. That's what I was
There we
waiting.
go.
Oh, there. Right. Like I heard it, but I didn't see nothing.
Right.
Needed that visual confirmation.
What's good? What's good, y'all? This is your girl, Coach L.
And your boy Nick Lotion, the co-hostess with the mostest. It's Radical Radio time.
Yes, indeed. It is Radical Radio time, and we have an awesome, special, radical guest coming on
Definitely.
shortly. Definitely got somebody coming on shortly that you guys want to hear from. He is Lake County's own, so we definitely want to, you know, turn up for the kid one time, for Lake County one time. So thank you guys for
Definitely.
joining us this evening. Um, what can I say? Um,
It's
Shout out
Monday.
look, it's Monday. I definitely want to start out by giving a shout out to all of the Fall 19 cohort youth build graduates. They are graduating tomorrow. They are having their success ceremony tomorrow. So shout out to all of the youth build members that graduated or that will be graduating in our fall 2019 cohort.
Shout out to
Um,
all the youth build students, man. Y'all did y'all thing. Congratulations.
Yes, it was
Congratulations.
definitely a blessing to, be the ones to be there for you guys. Um, Sorry guys, my somebody walked
They
in.
be trying to say congratulations too. That's
Yeah,
all.
the pups are saying congratulations. What else? Also, let me look. Tomorrow is my eighth year anniversary. Thank God that we made it to 8 years.
Congratulations, coach.
Eight
That's a huge
is the
accomplishment.
look. Eight is the number of new beginnings, and when I tell you, we are definitely on the way to a complete new beginning with all of the things that we endured, encountered, and the trials and tribulations that we had over the last 7 years. It's over with now. We got a new beginning, so I am excited about that.
Congratulations, man.
Thank
That's
you,
awesome.
bro.
That's a
Thank you.
huge accomplishment. That ain't nothing easy to do. So,
Let me be.
congratulations. Like,
Listen, I'm gonna
yeah,
be
yeah, 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 yeah.
transparent for all of those people out there that saying they want to be married, for all those women out there that are itching and don't want to wait. I'm telling you, make sure that you wait. Marriage is definitely not something that is
Woo!
an easy journey. It has been a very taxing journey thus far. Especially, I'm gonna be transparent here,
Come on with it.
especially when you move too fast. I do believe
Yeah.
that my husband and I
Tell the truth,
both
coach.
we know in this season that we're in that we did move too fast. We also know that we weren't ready. So when you are a faith driven person and when you rely on God and you want to please God, and like my husband is one of those that he don't even want to talk about divorce.
Uh huh.
He feels like once we got married, we'll never get divorced. I feel the same way, but I'm gonna be honest. I done filed, I done sent paperwork, like I done been done, I done been up, down, and around.
Uh
It's been
huh.
a lot that we have been through throughout these last 7 years. We have been married yet separated for a lot of those years. We have different outlooks on life, but we are in a space now where we are starting to come together, and our mindsets are coming together. So it's a blessing. It's been a long road, but
No,
it's
that's
definitely a blessing.
listen. That's so real. Like, and that's a beautiful thing to see because, like, I ain't gonna lie. Even just being your friend personally, outside of like the stuff that we do,
Yeah,
like I've seen a change in like how you even address it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And like, that's a beautiful thing. I want to ask you a question. I want you to give any kind of piece of advice that you could, because there's people out here that's going through they especially right now with this pandemic going on. There's a lot of marriages under a lot of pressure.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Coach, what advice, you know what I'm saying, would you give from yourself personally to anybody that may be experiencing something, but they don't want their marriage to end? You know what I mean?
Real talk. I'm gonna be all the way 100 with you. I feel like a woman that prays is a woman that stays.
Uh huh.
If you are not in an abusive relationship, if you are not, in a extremely toxic relationship where it's taking a toll on you mentally, and you're not in an abusive situation, if you desire for, your marriage to stay intact, and you desire for your marriage to change and for you guys to become one truly and be whole, all I can tell you is pray. I really truly live by that because I am a woman that has prayed for her marriage. There has been some times where I didn't pray.
Yeah.
And, the people that are around me, they would ask me, are you praying for your husband? And I would have to tell the truth and say, no, I'm not praying for him. And then I would have to revert back, repent, and ask God to forgive me. And I start praying. And prayer has been the one consistent thing that I have always done concerning my marriage. And I know with the circumstances that me and my husband are under right now, I know that it is a God thing. God had to remove my husband to put him away, to actually give him the time to sit back and really analyze what we have and what he wants. And it's all glory to God because he still has a long way to go. He still has a process to go through, but prayer is the key. Prayer is definitely the key.
Amen.
That's
Thank
it.
you for that, Coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you see the comments?
Yeah. What's up, Kendra? Thank you for joining us. I only saw Kendra come through. I don't see the comments. Hold on. Let
A
me
good
go.
one just popped up. I didn't want to take the thunder though, but like,
No, that was cool, bro. That was cool.
what up, Bob? Thanks for watching, bro.
Thank you guys for watching. I don't even know where.
You see it now? It just popped.
There we go. Okay, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Veronica says, I'm recently divorced, 13 years together, 10 years married, 23 years. Always work on your marriage. Yes, absent abuse, work on your marriage. Absolutely, Veronica. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for being transparent.
Yes.
That's real. That
And
is
that's
real.
another thing. Like a lot of people feel like, um, I know for me, sometimes it was like, I had to deal with the fact that people would, criticize me or, had something to say about me staying or,
Right.
but
Of
at
course.
the end
Everybody
of
got
the day,
opinion.
yeah, at the end of the day, you just gotta, know what you want and know, the route that you're willing to take and
Yeah.
how much you're willing to take and just stick with it, whatever it is. So yeah, that's definitely it. That's
Yeah.
definitely it.
I mean, like, and it's just awesome to see. Myself personally, Coach. I was in an unsuccessful marriage, unfortunately. And like, all I'm saying is, like, if you can come to terms, if you can get on the same page with your partner, and y'all both can agree on the direction that y'all both want to go in,
Yeah.
it's definitely worth that effort. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? People grow apart. You know what I'm saying? There is misfortune in life. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to what you said in the beginning, as far as not rushing things and really taking your time, getting to know you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of important prerequisites to making that full commitment. But I mean, it's definitely a beautiful thing to see somebody that like I said, like, and you just said it was rocky at one point, you had even filed at one point, whatever, but to hear you sit here and say that tonight on the show, super dope. I wish we was on the air so that he could hear it.
I
You know
know,
what I'm
right?
saying? I definitely wish we was in the studio tonight, but he gonna get it one way or another.
Absolutely.
Shout out to y'all, Coach. Congratulations, man. 8 years.
Absolutely. Thank
Beautiful,
you, bro. I
beautiful.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really, really do. So, Lotion, you back in the gym.
Man. Whew.
Look, let me tell y'all, Lotion said he was not going back in the gym. He was done. He didn't set up shop in his crib, everything, but he is definitely back in the gym. Lotion, tell the people why you decided to go back, bro.
Man, that's a good one, honestly. Like, and I mean, I'm gonna just tell it like it happened. Like, I've been working out outside of the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been in a kind of weird kind of space lately. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a lot of things going on in my personal life. Some new challenges have arisen, I guess you could say, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of in like a blurry spot. You know what I'm saying? Kind of in some fog a little bit, and I had woke up, went for a run, right? And after I went for my run, I came and I was just sitting in, and I got on my phone, and first thing I pulled up on Instagram when I got on my phone was like some bodybuilder person. And I was just looking at it. I was like, I could, like, it was just like, I pretty much just seen me,
Right.
and like, not so much that I'm just like, I know what I can accomplish and I was just thinking, like, don't get me wrong, like the home gym thing, it sustains. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It will, do something.
Yeah.
But for the depths that I like to go to and like the way that I train, it's hard to not get that done outside of a gym. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
it's hard to get that kind of push and like the type of workout. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just like it was almost like an easy decision. I was talking to my girlfriend and like she was telling me like, hey, if that's what you want to do, you know what I mean? Like it sounded like, you know what I'm saying, you already got your mind made up. She was doing the background work. She had sent me like the new gym rules and all that they had put. I was like, oh, bet.
Yeah.
So I mean, I decided, I was like, all right, Monday I'm back in that mug and like, listen, I'm hurting, but it's a happy pain, you
Right.
know?
That's dope. That's definitely a dope thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tripping tonight.
Uh-oh.
A lot going on. Yeah. And I could tell, like, when he said he was back in the gym, like, I was excited for him because I know that's like his happy place. So that's why I decided to bring that up, just because, like, sometimes
Definitely,
we make the decision that we're not gonna do something, but
man.
in order to kind of get us in the space that we need to be in, God will put us back where we need to be
And that's what
to
it
make
feels
sure that
like.
we're good. So yeah,
I
that's
couldn't
a
have
good
put it no
thing.
better, coach. And forgive me, Lord, for not saying that.
Yeah,
God
that's a good
definitely
thing.
directed me and guided me right back to the place that, you know what I'm saying, I need to be right now. So,
For sure. Yeah, that's a good
amen.
thing. That's a good thing. Shout out to you, Lotion. Veronica Lynn Willis said, I found people who watch you move in a way they are afraid to move will always criticize you because they view your strengths as their weaknesses, but always
Ooh,
work on that union you made between you, him, and God. Veronica, girl, you did
man,
started
she
something up
starting.
in
I'm
here.
about to say she kicking it up in the comments
Real talk.
already.
Thank you so much for that. And let's
That's a
be
good one.
clear. That's not just your marriage. That's the way you move,
Period.
period. People will watch you and people will criticize you and talk about you and really have negative things to say about you. But it's only because they can't do it or they're not doing it.
Man,
A lot of people that kind of are bowed down by procrastination and things like that, and they see other people move, they don't like that. They want to criticize you. So shout out to you, Veronica. Keep being
definitely,
strong. Keep
definitely.
being a
Thank you.
queen, baby girl. I love what you said tonight. You had started a fire there real quick.
She heating it up. We ready now. Billy
We
in the building.
definitely ready. Billy in the
We got him.
building.
We
What's
got Billy
going
Coleman.
on?
Yo,
What's going on?
Yes, we have, guys, William Coleman in the building, the founder of the North Chicago think tank is here. It is time for us to have some conversations,
Some good
some
listen,
good
listen.
conversations, okay?
If y'all listening right now, put your seatbelt on. Okay,
Please do.
put your
Please do.
click it, cause yeah, we gonna
Yes.
take it there. What's up, Billy?
What's going on? How you feeling, Nick?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm happy to see you, man. I'm glad we finally got you on here, bro. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a
Overdue. It's
long time.
overdue.
It's been a long time, but it's good. How was the cipher last week or this week?
It was good. We ended up just kind of like being amongst ourselves, talking about some of the things that, plague our community and some of the things
Definitely.
that we've been enduring.
Yeah.
Um, and you were a topic of discussion, of course. Um,
Big time.
and let me start out before I read this bio about the North Chicago think tank. I want to let you guys know, Billy showed up to our first annual Recipher, the Free Thinkers United with Purpose first Recipher, and Billy had his sign
I run with the
concerning
Met.
a mod,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
When
Yeah.
I tell y'all, this guy blew us back because he started talking about where he had traveled to and how he had traveled abroad and how he had saw villages, and I was like, I want to go with him. I want to go with him wherever he goes. I'm going
yeah.
because
Definitely.
he was serious about it, and he really gave us a lot to think about.
Definitely.
He is definitely, gone abroad. If you follow Billy, please go follow him because you can see all the pictures of all the tribes and all the people that he has encountered. Really, really woke
Super
me
dope.
up.
Super, super
Really,
dope.
really woke me up. When I tell
Definitely.
y'all, And I was like, yeah, that's my brother, and he gonna be my brother, and he forever my brother. So
Facts.
shout out to Billy. I was so excited to meet you, and I'm so glad that that was a fitting introduction for you and us, because it was really amazing. But I want to, before we get started and before we go ahead, Veronica said, wait, what Veronica said? Read it, Nick.
We all, man, we didn't, the comments blowing up ever since Billy jumped on.
I'm telling you.
Maxie said North Chicago, we in the building. Jerry said Billy didn't come to play.
Yes.
Veronica
Listen.
said Billy in the building. Billy,
Yes.
all gas,
Yes.
no brakes.
Come through, no go. Come through, no go. Come
There we
on
go.
through.
There we go. That's love right there. That's what's
I
up.
love it. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the North Chicago think tank. It is a policy research, reform, and advocacy focused project aimed at improving the quality of life for citizens of North Chicago, Illinois, by building and growing local power, creating spaces for Black imagination and innovation, and centering Black joy.
Yep.
Hold on. Let's say that again. Centering Black joy.
Love it.
Now that I said that, I'm going to start with this. Please, Billy, tell the people, what is Black joy?
Black joy, I feel, it's really hard to encapsulate
Mm-hmm.
because you only know it when you see it, when you feel it, when it's coming out of you. I think there is this laugh that's not polite, it's not pretty, it's just, it's your body reacting to just like pure joy, not just a moment in time, but just like a connection to your ancestors and everything that is good.
Yes.
And Black people have it. When it's really hard for us to articulate these terms because they've been stolen from us.
Come
We
on.
don't have our ancient writings. We don't have a lot of things, but for some reason, we just won't stay miserable. We won't. Like we'll
Woo.
go through misery. We'll go through misery, definitely,
Yes.
but we won't stay miserable. And I saw a meme the other day where someone said it's so crazy how Black people are going through oppression and fighting the pandemic and doing all these things, but at the same time won't take nothing too seriously.
Yes.
And
Man.
it was so appropriate because we gonna get back to joy. We gonna center it. It just happens, and it's not even on purpose. We
Right.
gonna get together, and when it's pure and it's true, we gonna start laughing. We gonna start cracking jokes. It's gonna
Yeah.
be, So when you really talk about that Black joy, I really want to say it's what people. How do I want to use these words? It's what people are missing, and that's why they seek escapism, in my
Yes.
opinion. When
Yes.
you really got a hold on your joy, you can just
Mhm.
tap into it when it's time.
Ooh.
When you like, I hate to liken it to drugs because I don't want to do that, but I feel like when you are in a place and you like, I need joy right now to get me to the next place, it
Mm-hmm.
functions in that same way that people think
Yes.
drugs does. You know what I mean? It really lifts you up and
Yes.
it really just like carries you to that next place.
That
That's
is
awesome.
amazing. That was amazing.
Super
That was
dope.
a whole bunch of just goodness right up in there. Like that was real, real good. Real, real good. Okay.
Man.
We got the Bevels in here with us. Thank you guys for
Shout
joining
out to
us.
the Bevels.
Hey, hey.
Veronica said that it's necessary, and you're absolutely right.
Facts. I completely agree.
And I love that. And I don't think we think about that as a Black people, as a culture. I don't think we think about it. I know lately with everything that's been going on, I keep like having to remind myself that we have been oppressed for so many years, but we never got knocked down. Like we do not allow them to knock us down. We
No.
always get back up.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just in our DNA. It's like ingrained in our DNA where we can't get knocked down,
No.
you know. So that's amazing. What I want you to do is tell us a little bit about why you decided to bring North Chicago Think Tank to action. Why was
Wait,
that important for you?
can you
Okay.
before you answer that question, Billy? Can you explain to the people because they may not understand what the concept of a think tank is? And my bad, Coach. I just wanted
Yep,
because I
no,
know
you good.
I like when I first heard it, I was kind of like, all right, wait, what's exactly the thing? So can you break that down to us first, Billy, before and then tell us what you did it for, please? Thank you.
Yes. So a think tank is not, we didn't originate that premise. Think
Right.
tanks have been used all over the world and all over the United States in order to find solutions to problems that plague people all the time. You'll hear people say brainstorming, or you'll hear people saying, gathering together to think their way through things. I think compiling the word think with tank is about really talking about aggressively applying your thought to something. You know what I mean? Like, you remember when you was really young and somebody would tell you, you need to sit down and think about what you did.
Uh-huh.
What they were saying was, you're not applying that brain properly. I need you to take all of them faculties. I need you to take all of them faculties. I need you to focus them, and I need you to point them like a tank has a cannon. And I need you to really, really meditate and really chew on that thought.
Yes.
And then I need you to create some sort of behavioral change from that. And that's really what the think tank is about. It's about coming into North Chicago and saying, we know what we need. We know the things that we need, but have we really talked about the way we think? Have we really talked about applying critical thinking to some of the issues that we face? Getting that data in front of us and getting all the subject matter experts together and saying, we're not going to say blacks have a problem. We're going to dissect it, and we're going to say, this is what white supremacy looks like. This is what oppression looks like. And here are all the complexities and the intersections. And then we're going to take piece by piece, and we're going to say, it's a piece right here that there's a particular sister that know all about it.
Absolutely.
Right.
That to her. And then this piece over here, I got two brothers that know exactly about that. So we're going to give that to them. And then they take that issue and they do the research. They talk to the people. They do the work to really think about it. And then we all come back together and we collaborate. And we say, okay, what programs are already in place that we're supposed to do that? Why are they not working? How can we support those? And if we need to create a new program, what does that look like? And then how is it implemented? And then how do we create performance indicators? How do we teach the community to grow and then also leverage the power from others? So, think tank is about saying, we got to think our way through it, and we have to be purposeful about that. We have to keep saying that to ourselves, that and the reason why I thought that the think tank was a great solution is because I've spent 8+ years abroad. The first time I went overseas was in 2008, and I went to Shanghai, and it was for business. I was with a corporation at the time. And I had never understood what it was like to be black outside of the United States. A lot of people have not experienced what it is to be black in the United States.
Seriously.
So the interesting thing about being black outside of the United States is that your competencies are recognized immediately. Everything about you that has been taught negatively, even your physical features, once you go overseas, you'll find that it's different. It's very different. They will attribute you to your strengths first. They will attribute you to your strengths first, and they'll say, oh, you're black? Oh, because all they know about blackness is strength.
Wow.
Now that's dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I started to, talk to certain people, and what was happening, I was at this hotel in Shanghai, and there were these hustlers outside of my hotel. And they were selling things, some things that were very inappropriate, but like just selling iPads and stuff that fell off a truck. So he was trying to sell me women, and I told him, I said, brother, that's really not cool with me. I don't support any of that kind of stuff, but I do want to let you know that I come from a culture that also sells things on the side, and we know all about that. So I'm gonna help you out, and I'm gonna buy some stuff from you, but I want you to take me to where the real stuff is. I want you to show me the
Come on, Billy.
And we had this bond, we had this trust that was literally me saying, I'm from the streets, and I know you from the streets,
right?
So we can trust each other. And we spent the next 4 days. I would go to work, I would go to my office, and I would go do my corporate stuff, and then I would go to the corporate dinner, and then around like 11 o'clock, I would go out of my house, out of my hotel, go down and find the street dudes, and they would take me around all the dope spots.
Oh man, you got to see the real.
Yes. So you know, you really talk about that. That has never been communicated as even an option for us.
Man,
Right.
Say, you know, your street savviness or your connection
can
to
get you in the door somewhere like that.
For real.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
So then so then from there I started to get interested in other places, and I ended up in India, and then Nepal, Thailand, Vietnam, and I got as far as Borneo. And I started to just recognize the intellectual property that these villagers had.
Mhm.
We have been, Black people in America, we live in a post-breakdown village society. And what I mean is we come from a village.
Yes,
You
we
don't
do.
know what your village is. You don't know what your mother tongue is. You don't know it because along with our DNA, they stripped us of a culture.
Right.
And so when I started to go to these villages, whether it was the ability to climb the biggest tree, whether it was the ability to handle a waterfall, whether it was ability to grow a particular crop, it was their intellectual property. They knew how to do it in their brain, and it was important to them.
Right.
And they would pass it down to their kids. And I started to match that with some of the things, like I've read that in the United States, they couldn't grow tubular plants like or tubular vegetables like sweet potatoes or yams.
Right.
Mhm.
And they needed the African slaves to teach them how to do that. And so they forced them to do that.
Right.
And then, of course, we don't know how to grow yams because we're not part of that culture anymore.
Right.
So I really wanted to bring that element back because people don't understand the start of infantizing a group or disabling a culture is that you take away their intellectual property. You tell them that they're not smart enough to even think. And then you start to steal all of their inventions and all of their innovations. You just take it. So they're still thinking. They may not even know that they're thinking, and they're creating and they're designing and they're imagining and they're just putting out all this stuff. But you've got them in such a sense of worthlessness that they don't realize that you're just waiting for them to think so you can take it and protect
Take it.
Wow.
My goodness.
Wow, that's crazy.
My goodness.
Yeah.
When I tell you that, see, we're missing so much. There's so much that we are missing as a people. Whew, goodness gracious. I don't even know like how you I don't know where to go with this because this is like amazing.
No,
Goodness gracious.
it definitely. So, like, Billy, like, how did the process go leading up to, you know, coming up with the concept of having a think tank and then using it in North Chicago? Like, so how did that link? You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll say this: since I've been born, I've just always seen North Chicago, Zion, Waukegan. I've just always seen it as great. It's always been great, and I've always seen the people that come from it great. I've just
That's love.
You know, had an internal affection and grading at a high level for where I came from.
That's love.
Yeah, and so then when I started to go overseas, that love just kept growing because people would ask me like, what about your people? And why do you speak like that? And why do you say this? And that's so cool. And I was teaching English as a second language. And, you know, I'd come in and I'd be super eloquent and I'd be really pronouncing my words and I'd be really saying all my syllables. And then the students would pull me aside and they say, teacher. And I say, yes. And they say, come talk to us. And I say, well, yes, what do you want? And they would say, teacher, can you talk how you really talk? I said, what do you mean? They said, well, we really like your class teacher, but we don't want to hear that. Every other teacher talks like that.
Wow.
But we want to see how your people talk. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And only just now is the African-American vernacular being spoken of in such a way.
Right.
Only just now are people starting to say that's actually a vernacular.
That's
it's
so dope.
Actually a tongue. It's actually like a code of sounds that is being passed and validated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like our own language, literally.
Yes. So you know, when I came back to North Chicago, and to kind of to frame this as well, we haven't been able to validate our existence or even find the words that speak to what's happened to us. I want to be very clear about that. We are not allowed to say that we were part of a genocide. We're not allowed to say that we were part of a Holocaust. We're not allowed to say that we were part of a permanent system of suffering. Like those words, because we're still under oppression and the oppressor gets to write the rules, they also write the language.
Wow.
So we're not allowed to do that. So what happened was I went to Cambodia and I learned about the Cambodian genocide, and I read about how the French introduced a lifestyle that made them look down on Cambodian lifestyle, and it created this internal conflict. I looked at the Rwanda genocide, and I looked at how the Belgians came in and started giving people identity cards and started placing them against each other. And then I went to Nepal, and I started to understand the Maoist conflict that happened from 1996 to 2006, and really understood, like, how can people who look exactly the same look at each other and see an enemy? Like, how can you do that, you know?
Right.
And you really look at how, you know, someone can come in, introduce a new way, call it modernity, get you to hate the old way, and then infantize you and make you dependent on them.
Man.
And start to fight in each other. So I started to just see all these connected dots. And then I also saw disconnection. I saw that, you know, we don't talk to our brothers in Nepal. We don't talk to our brothers in Cambodia. We don't talk to our brothers in South Africa or Ghana or Brazil. Like we have brothers and sisters in Cuba who will tell you exactly how it all played out. So we haven't been able to compare and say, oh, they did that to you. Oh, they did that to us in 96.
Right.
They did that to you in 1945. They played that on us in 2004. So when I came back home, I said, no, we need a think tank. And we need to bring all these people together and start to compare all of this information, but from a place of strength where we say, I do know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to let you invalidate my perception and tell me that I'm lying or that I just saw it wrong. Because every time a brother or sister tells me something, I remember a story from somebody in Vietnam or Cambodia or Borneo where listen, y'all want to know how crazy it is when I went to Borneo? Do you know how we contribute to deforestation? Snacking. When I tell you it's so insidious, they have used palm tree oil. They put palm tree oil in everything that we eat. So when you're eating them gummy bears, you're eating them Snickers, you're eating them Nestle, if you look at the ingredients, we don't look at the ingredients on our food. They put palm seed oil in there. And they went to Borneo where the rainforest was, and that's where they planted the palm trees. So they've been yanking out the rainforest and planting palm seeds. And every time we buy snacks and other things that got palm seed oil, it just contributes to that. There is, like, when I tell you, when I went to Borneo and I'm looking at things like National Geographic and stuff, Nestle apologizing. All these big companies say, oh, we're sorry, we shouldn't have did this. But they're not telling that to us.
Right. Like, you don't hear, I haven't heard nothing like that. So,
and that's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. But they would never. They would never. And so, you know, it really, you know, when I was in Borneo, a friend of mine, I was with my friend Nick, and we got dropped off at the bus, but the bus was really far away from where we were supposed to go. So we saw this house, and there was these Bornean men in there. And so, you know, we rocked up. When you're overseas, you're a bit more communal. You'll ask for things. You're a bit more trusting. So, you know, we walked in, and I was like, you know, we need a ride. And I looked at the table. They was playing dominoes.
Right.
You muted.
Coach, why we can't hear you?
You muted.
Uh-oh. Her sound gone. We can't hear nothing you saying at all. Like, it ain't even little.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. You back? Okay, that was weird.
Still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So I go to this table and they playing dominoes.
yes.
And they like slamming it like how we see, you know, how you
No, they're not, Billy. No, they're not. You're like, I'm back at the crib. Let's go.
Like, right. That's a funny thing to walk in somewhere completely foreign and see.
Right.
So I turned to my friend and I'm like, oh, we straight. They playing dominoes. We good. We good. They gonna take us to where we need to go. So
Yes.
we have really been taught in so many ways that one, we're dumb. We're dumb. And we really have to that's why you can remove believability from a whole group of people. That's how you can say you can't trust nothing a black person says. And you think about how supremacy is over us. That's
Mm-hmm.
why you gotta police them so hard. And that's why you get to kill them. Because you can't really trust them. You can't believe them because they don't really know what they're talking about.
Right.
Wow.
And even that perception of hyper violence, we've never been connected to tribes and nations who tell us what the primal human's purpose was.
Right.
Man.
They display their primal nature for function.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't have no function here. They've taken away the land. They've taken away our access to animals. They've taken away our farming. They're taking away our water. There is a tribe, a black tribe in Borneo called the Baju people, Bajau, I believe. They're water people.
Wow.
They're water people, and they have adapted. Their bodies have adapted because they've lived on water for so long,
Mm.
and they can breathe underwater. They say for up to 5 minutes from birth.
Wow.
Yes. And so I
Woo!
went to see them, and you see a baby in like deep water just canoeing. Because it's safe for them. It's safe for them. They
no
don't,
fear.
Or you go to Vietnam and you see babies managing massive ox. Like, you talking about beasts.
Yeah.
It's a baby. The baby is leading the ox from the farm to the house.
Listen.
That's
Listen.
deep though. If you think about what you're saying, that is super like the potential naturally to
Yes.
do what you do comes from something that's deeper than just being taught how to how to just work or operate. You know what I mean? It's installed. It's in you already. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not the conversation is not you already know these things, you already great. It's kind of you're bad at all this stuff that we're supposed to be doing while we're here, but we are completely removed from our natural habitat. So like
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, Veronica said, and we cannot make apologies about demanding the best. You're absolutely right, Veronica. She said the North Chicago think tank is born and bred from the best. I have to agree with you, my
amen.
sister. And
Amen.
she said, come on with your valuable truth. Jerry Bevel said, never heard this. That's deep. When she says that, and first of all, everybody on this live, please share this live. I
Definitely. This
need
is
you guys to share this live. Please share this live. Invite some people in because listen,
it's informal, man. It's important.
Billy has the knowledge that needs to be passed along to our young people.
Facts.
Okay. I'm 40 years old. I'm 41 years old. Okay. And like the producer just said, I've never seen you speechless. She's absolutely right because this captures me to know about and to talk about the very things that have suppressed us to the point where we are in this state of mind. And some of us are in this state of
Yeah.
mind that we are nothing or that,
We're just
somebody's
super lost.
better than us. We are a lost people right now. And we really
But
need to continue these types of conversations. Like I can sit, I think me and Billy sat on the phone the other day for like over an hour. Like the
man,
conversation just kept going and going and a wealth of knowledge. Okay.
yes.
A wealth of knowledge. So I need for you guys to share this live. I need for this information to be sent out so that we know exactly who is running this 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 project. This
Right.
is important for us. This is not. It's not just. And Billy, I want you to kind of explain to them because when we were talking, you were saying, this is not. This is a North Chicago think tank because that's where you're from. But this is for everybody. This is not just for the residents of North Chicago. This is for everybody. Tell them what you want to see happen with the think tank once it kind of gets done in North Chicago, how you want it to move about Lake County.
So, and that's really tough, because I want to, I had a conversation with our HR director today, and I'm going to talk about some of the tactics that we put into place that can
Mhm.
actually be measured. But I
Right.
want to be very clear that Black people run on elements that have never been measured by science.
Wow.
So if you say, how much trust do you have in me?
Uh-huh.
We can't measure that. There, you can't say
Right.
I have a gallon of trust or I have 2 feet of trust. It's a concept and a way that is so beyond our perception. We try to talk about trust,
Mm-hmm.
we can't put it into what we see now in society. So I really want to talk about that. That
Okay.
when you're thinking, how far do you go? Like, do you
Mm-hmm.
Man,
go from
Yes.
woo,
here
I
to
like
here?
that. I like that, Billy.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the reality. You know what I mean? That we look at supremacy, we look at the structure of supremacy as the end all be all for all answers. But
Right.
the reality is that that's your brain.
Yes.
Your brain is the end all be all for all answers, and everybody has one. So our goal is equality and equity for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so crazy that even in supremacy, they will take a perception that Black Lives Matter and make it seem racist. When
Right.
really, Black Lives is the most equal focused project because we're trying to say we at the lowest rung.
Right.
We're
Right.
trying to come up, and you saying that just because we're trying to come up, we're being racist, but that's
Man, come
that's a
on.
whole other conversation.
Yes, it is.
Right. Right.
But what I want to say is, it's time. People have Eric Fromm, who is an amazing thinker and a writer. He wrote a book called "The Art of Loving," and
Mm-hmm.
it was one of the most important books that I've ever read. And he really just broke down how social concepts can encage us
Mm-hmm.
or stop us from doing certain things. We have to remember that when we talk about Black people and we talk about the continent of Africa, and you think about being from the beginning, if you're saying that you're from the beginning, then you have to start thinking like that.
Yes.
You have to start thinking like that. You have to start saying, well, this is what's right now, but what was before that?
Yeah.
Because what was before that is also what's going to be after that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And so the think tank wants to see evidence of thought start to appear. We want to
Yeah.
see innovation.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with the doorknob.
Right.
Yes.
Somebody came up with the button.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with the light switch, with the filament in the light
Right.
bulb. People were
Absolutely.
inventing. Humans used to come up with that stuff. People
To
Yeah.
solve
invented
problems.
peanut butter.
To
Yeah.
solve problems. You know what I mean? Like to
But what we found is that it was Black people inventing it.
Come on.
facts.
And then someone stole it and put their name on it.
Man, they don't
Yeah.
want to hear that. Tell it.
So
Tell the
what we
truth,
have
Billy.
to
Come on with it.
remember is you are an inventor.
Come on.
You are an innovator.
A
And
natural
you
problem
sitting
solver.
around here waiting to reproduce something when you have to just sit and think. You have to sit and think and create. You got to procreate.
Right.
What will doors look like in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What will at a certain point we're gonna have to evolve past concrete.
Oh, yes.
At a certain
Man.
point, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so we have to challenge ourselves, not in no crazy, ridiculous manner,
Right.
but just
Right.
saying that the use of concrete in the urban setting has prevented us from gardening. Flat out.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Absolutely.
need to say, what's another option?
Yeah.
Right.
What's another option? And that's the think tank wants to see more options just start to appear. Where
Yes.
young kids will feel assertive and say, you know what, uncle, or you know what, auntie, I saw the way that car was moving and I think it could do something else.
Yep.
Right.
That's
I
right.
saw the way we use stairs. Somebody created stairs.
Yes.
I saw stairs, and I think there's another way.
Right.
Yes.
Those are the types of things that happen when you're thinking.
Yes.
When I was in Nepal, I was in the Himalayas, and I well, not exactly in the Himalayas, but in the foothills.
Mm-hmm.
And people learn how to manage while also protecting the environment,
Yeah.
while also staying healthy, while
Yeah.
also protecting one
Yeah.
another. If you go to Machu Picchu, Machu Picchu is an ancient civilization in Peru, I think. They have irrigation.
Right.
Wow.
They had irrigation before anybody had irrigation. And I'll tell you one time I was talking to somebody who happened to be Caucasian, and we were talking about how brilliant that was that those people had irrigation, and his response was, yeah, it was probably aliens.
Right. Yeah, they
Like
like that
what
one.
now?
It's so
But see,
foreign to
here's
them.
the thing: it has to be so far fetched that a
That
black
it
person
couldn't do that it couldn't be a black person.
it couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could
yeah.
be it could be a valley person. It could be a desert person. It could be a
It
mountain
goes
person.
back to your comment in the beginning about them teaching us that we don't know.
Yes.
Right.
So you talk about that imagination and gearing it towards innovation and gearing it towards creation, procreation, while
Yes.
also having that humility that all black people have. I'll tell you, I went all around the world, and in every one of those villages, they was respecting a higher being.
Wow.
They was always respecting a higher being.
Right.
Yeah.
And we may not have agreed on the name of that higher being,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
but I was like, but I respect one.
Yes.
And I
Right.
Yes.
think we're not moving no further from that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think even the belief in a creator is a willingness to see what was supposed to be.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was supposed to be? If it wasn't
Hmm.
supposed to be misery, which is where we at now, what
Uh-huh.
Come
was it
on.
supposed to be? And let's think about it. Let's
Yeah.
work on it. Let's, you know,
That's like a product of a think tank, is what you're saying.
yes. So, for example, one of our goals is a training center. Novak King Middle School is currently closed.
Hmm.
And it's closed because of low enrollment and low
Right.
enrollment for a particular age group. It
Hmm.
doesn't take much to say there are other age groups that need a training center.
Right.
We're
Absolutely.
not asking for, and I want to be very clear, we're not talking about no Albert Einstein equation development stuff. We saying elevate that thinking just enough to stop playing us.
Yes.
That's what
Come
we're
Right.
on
saying.
now. Say it one
Right.
more time. Just enough. Just
let's
enough.
let's be real.
Yeah.
We're saying Novak King Middle School. We need a building report to see what is wrong with that building. If
Yeah.
there's nothing physically wrong with that building, there are enough adults in North Chicago, Zion, and Waukegan
Hmm.
to validate the use of that space for training programs, therapy, whatever.
Facts. Facts.
That is
Facts.
correct.
That's not blowing your brain out to Mars. That
Yeah.
is just
That's simple.
it's
Yeah.
simple.
It's
Yeah.
very simple.
And I think that when I say the think tank, people want it to be so convoluted and they want it to be so complex.
Right.
And I'm like, brothers and sisters, I'm just saying, think for a second, because you're so powerful that once you move away all that advertising and you move away all of that suggestion and you move away all of that addiction and
Yes.
all of that distraction, them
Yes.
ideas just gonna start popping. Just start
Yes.
Woo, Billy.
Yes, Billy.
and that's what the think tank is about. Is getting
My
people
goodness.
excited. When I was over in Asia, do you know who they had walking around? People who thought monks. I
Hmm.
went to um what are they called, monasteries, and I
Hmm.
went and I sat and I asked them, what are we supposed to be doing? And they like, you don't even know how to control your breath.
Look
You
at
have
that.
to
Look at something so.
Man.
and listen, and
That's
I'm gonna
dope.
tell y'all something. All this knowledge that I have, I was over there looking dumb. I was over there looking,
Right. 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 That's so
It's all right,
funny.
though. It's all right.
That's so funny.
Listen.
the entire time. I'm like, we have to remember that your brain is your strongest muscle.
Yes, it is.
And it's the most attractive muscle. But we've been taught that everything else on our body is most important. So we sitting around flexing and trying to make our physical look good, and that brain is not doing nothing.
Ah!
Come on, Billy.
My goodness.
Hey, no, seriously, I
I
completely
can't.
1000% agree. And everybody knows that I love working out, but I always say the brain is a muscle too. And you gotta exercise it just like you exercise everything else. And that's just as important to me as the rest of my body. And I definitely would recommend that if you're gonna be exercising, make sure that you exercising that brain muscle. Billy is absolutely right.
And I'll tell you what else.
Listen, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what else. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you something, brother. You know who got the most ripped bodies?
Who?
Farmers.
Right.
Farmers.
Yeah.
It's time to take. Why are we exercising in the gym?
Yes.
Hey,
you can be in a garden. We can be
working
out here building the city.
Yes.
Working on yourself and the community. That's a win-win.
You need to do whatever. Okay, we're gonna go plow this field. We're gonna go get this. We're gonna make a farmer's market. We're gonna learn carpentry. We're gonna learn architecture. We're gonna learn all these things. Man. And it's going to reform our bodies. I'm telling y'all, when I went and I've done rice planting. I've done I've led or steered ox and cow. And when I did that, trust me, they was all smoking blunts while they was farming. So
hey, come on with it though.
We're bringing him back. We're bringing Billy back.
We're gonna have to.
We haven't even touched the surface, y'all. I'm telling y'all, like,
yeah, no.
And it ain't. It's listen. Matter of fact, no.
I love talking to Billy.
We don't have to bring him back. We're gonna go meet Billy.
Yeah.
Where he is in this community. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
This is just a platform for us to be able to share our brother with the people. But I'm telling y'all, if you are about the culture, if you are a proud person, a proud Black person, you need to get with the think tank. You need to come out. We need to see you out. We need to see you come out to the gatherings, to the networking events, to the things, the Zoom meetings. He needs us. This brother needs us to collectively come out and think. That's all he's asking us to do. All he's simply asking us to do is show up and come and put our brain to use and think.
Yes.
Strategize.
And I want to say this too, that before I just don't want anyone to feel afraid.
Yes.
I don't want anyone to feel judged. And that was one of the things that attracted me to Radical Radio, that to the free thinkers, is that there's something inside of you that's saying that when you come to the think tank or when you come to some of these collaborative efforts, that we're gonna laugh at you.
Right.
Or we're gonna be angry with you.
Right.
And you need to know for sure that we are not against you. And we are not here to divide from you. And we're not here to laugh at your position or your story or wherever you are in life.
Absolutely.
That's not what this is about. What this is saying is something's not working.
Yeah.
So we gonna all come together.
Yeah.
And think our way through it. We're gonna make assertive spaces for women, children, men to come and say, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at GPS. And then we just gonna connect the dots and we're gonna keep building bridges. This is not something, don't expect for the think tank to just drop immediate solutions, because that's not how life works. If you want a tree, you have to plant that seed and then you gotta water it and then you gotta wait for the tree to come up and then sit under its shade. So I really do think that the community has the power and the ability to do that. So if you want to support us, the first thing that you can do is you can find the North Chicago Think Tank on Facebook and Instagram, and you can like those pages.
It is pinned down in the comment section. So if you guys need to link with the think tank, it is pinned down in the comment section.
Make sure y'all link with the think.
Yes. Once you're there, you can participate. We do debates. So right now we are debating the presence of a harm reduction service that's in North Chicago. You can debate that using our jot form or using Kylo Edu. We just need you to
Let
come up, huh?
let's go into that real quick, Billy. This
Okay.
this
Yes.
this us. So we're gonna go into that.
Yeah,
For
definitely.
those of you that do not know, there is a truck that sits out on 10th Street every Thursday from 1 to 4, I believe it is, right,
Yes.
Billy?
Yes.
It's the truck, well, I guess the organization is Live for
Lolly.
Lolly. Live for Lolly. And Live for Lolly is on 10th Street, literally passing out drug paraphernalia. And Billy had the opportunity to see them
And
out
intersecting.
there
Yes.
last Thursday.
So, before I start to talk about that, I want to say, there was a video of me engaging with that truck.
Right.
That video got over 6,000 views.
Right.
And people were complaining because of the language.
Right.
And they said, the language was extreme and the language was abrasive. And to
Right.
those people, I say this. What was more abrasive, my language or the fact that a truck is giving out crack pipes and snorting
In our
kids
neighborhood.
in your neighborhood
Yeah.
in broad daylight in front of the police?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, which is more violent, which is more disturbing? So I also want to say a quick clarification. On my live, I was saying that my uncle died of an overdose. My uncle died of complications from substance abuse.
Right. Right.
So I just want to be clear with everybody, and I don't want people to think that I'm using my uncle's death as leverage to make
You good, Billy?
that's not what it is.
Right. Totally get it.
Yeah. And I also want to apologize to the family of anyone who may be offended by the video. I did take the video down because we did see some of our brothers and sisters out there, and in my passionate state,
Right.
I said some people's names and I showed their faces. And since then, we have brought on a subject matter expert of social work and grief counseling and substance abuse. And she really instructed me, a sister from an HBCU, Hampton University. She really instructed me on the proper way to document these things. So I just really want to set the tone that I apologize to anybody in North Chicago whose family member may have been documented. Please put that on my brain and not my heart. You know what I mean? It's just messed up. So first of all, I want to say that harm reduction services, the principles of harm reduction services, the philosophy is not being debated. We're not debating the fact that certain people need access to clean utensils in order to prevent the spread of HIV and hepatitis C. That's not what we're doing this Thursday at 12:30 p.m. at 10th and Park. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is we want programs that are fully capable of servicing everyone that is impacted by the war on drugs in North Chicago, Zion, and Waukegan. What does that mean? The war on drugs impacts people who sell drugs, the families of people who sell drugs, and the people who use drugs, and the families of the people who use drugs. So when you come in and you say that you're providing solutions, you have to provide wraparound solutions for everyone impacted by trauma.
Exactly.
Yes.
You can't just run up and say, well, I'm just going to give this homie a crack pipe because he needed it. That's not how this works. That's not how this works clinically. And that's also not what we want for our neighborhood.
Yes.
You have to do, if you go into Lake Forest right now, you try to do what you want to do, somebody going to usher you up out of there.
Yeah, yeah. It won't happen.
Trust and believe. You try to go to Wilmette. You try to go to Wilmette, or you go to any of these places that are affluent, and you try to get out and you do whatever you want to do, it's not happening.
Absolutely.
Nope, not happening.
They not having it.
And North Chicago, Waukegan, Zion has to get better at protecting our neighborhood from dangerous influences.
Yes.
And we have to be able to say, if something don't look right to me, I'm stopping and I'm getting out and I'm checking it out. I'm checking it out. And when I got out of the car, first of all, I didn't expect that. I thought it was a lie, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. When I saw the truck, and my sister was like, "That truck looked weird." that truck looked weird. And I will say, your intuition, that gut, we call it our gut,
Yeah.
we've been taught to ignore it so
Yes,
much.
yes, we
We've
Man.
been
have.
taught to just push it back. And my sister is my compass. My older sister is my compass, and she's always been my compass.
Hmm.
And she said, Billy, what's that truck? And I was like, oh no, it's probably just something, whatever. I gotta go to work. I'm busy. I'm just moving. So then I got home and I looked online and somebody was like, they passing out crack pipes and store pipes and and I'm looking at it and I'm like, they lying. They can't be real. They lying.
Right.
So I called my sister and I'm like, we got to get over to that truck and see what's going on. So my sister went up to the truck and she asked, and they gave her this kit. And the kit was transparent, not even in a, even if you get a drink or a fifth or something, you want it in a brown paper
The
bag.
brown
So
paper
I'm not
bag.
trying to have everybody seeing your stuff all out like that.
Yes.
So my sister get the bag and it's clear and it's like lip balm, razor blades, the little, I don't know too much about smoking crack, but they had a little Brillo pad and they had the crack pipe,
A whole kit.
shorty kit, and like these toothpicks and the syringe and everything. And I'm like, it sent me off. Like
Right.
it sent me off. And I was just like, this is wrong. Like, how are you trying to validate this? And then it kind of escalated because they was just mad disrespectful. I don't know if y'all saw the video.
I saw the video. I definitely saw the video.
They weren't responding to me in a clinical way.
No.
They were responding to me in a white savior. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I know what's best for your community, and you don't get to tell. You don't have the power to tell me anything otherwise. And I've spent a lot of time overseas on projects, and I've raised concern about some of the practices that I've seen in other countries where white-based organizations deemed as helping will go into a community and just do whatever they want. And they immediately get access to the kids. They immediately get access to whatever the population they want to impact. And there are no accountability factors. There's no measurement.
Right.
So I'm asking them, who did you tell about harm reduction services? Who in this block did you poll to ask, should you come?
Right.
Who invited you?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we got invited by the mayor. And I was like, well, if you did, that's messed up. And I'm going to keep talking about it. But as of yet, no one has affiliated themselves with that truck.
Right.
And I want to be clear for everyone watching about the demands that we put into place for the protest. All of those demands come directly from the website Live for Lolly. When they say they provide services, there's like a 4-step mission. And the first one is education. The next one is peer-to-peer support. The next one is advocacy. And finally is harm reduction services. And when you talk about harm reduction services, it really should be done in private by someone who is clinically trained. And it's really about exchange. It's about bringing in a dirty needle, getting a dirty needle off the street, and then replacing it with something clean. But when
let me ask you, so it's not like they're bringing their dirty needles and they're exchanging them. They're actually just here.
Giving out new
just this.
Yes, and you really have to think about the setup. Like if you think about it optically, you know what I mean? There's so many layers of offensiveness here and violence. First of all, if you saw the video, you saw that the presence of the drug paraphernalia was evident from the outside of the truck. They had like this little cartoon menu of the drug paraphernalia.
Like Billy, let me tell y'all, Billy was like, this like a McDonald's, like I want a number 1, I want a number 2. I was like, this is crazy.
That is mad.
So on one side, they pulled up in what looks like an ice cream truck or a child-friendly truck or a child-inviting truck. And they place the drug paraphernalia in a way where a child can see it. They can see that this is what this is. So for me, that's offensive. First. And that was already a trigger for me that it needed to go. Secondly, the no healthcare professional identified themselves on the truck. No one said I'm an official RN, I'm an official clinician. None of that. No one said I'm a subject matter expert on substance abuse. They just said I'm a previous addict or I can be here. And let me tell you something. This is no disrespect or disregard for anybody's struggle, but just because you've gone through something, it doesn't mean you're automatically trained to provide medical solutions in that field.
Fact.
I
Absolutely.
had my appendix busted and taken out of my stomach. It don't mean that I should go to the next person and try to take out their.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not what it was. So the visual of the paraphernalia was one. The other thing was, this is between the hours of 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., broad daylight, and you've got police watching. So as a person who could be charged because there are laws against having paraphernalia that has residue of drugs on it.
Right.
So you would be dumb to bring an old needle anyway, because
Right.
the police are right there. So if you come up with a dirty needle and they decide to arrest you, they got probable cause because you got a needle and probably got crack in it, or
Right.
Right.
whatever. So of course they wouldn't do that. Also, they're not inviting the people into the truck to engage in this exchange or whatever. They are doing it outside on the sidewalk. So that's offensive. We need to preserve their dignity. Like
Yep.
if I needed clean needles for my drug use, you tell me that I gotta go on 10th, the heavily trafficked 10th and Park Avenue across from a candy store, and I gotta do it in front of everybody.
Yep.
Right.
That's what you said. That's disrespectful. That's
Man,
really
this
disrespectful. The other side to this is that these services are centering those who are suffering from addiction. So what services are you providing for the other people that are impacted by the war on drugs? And I want to be very clear about my use of the term war on drugs and the use of the term overexploited. We
Yes.
really need to use terms that hold people accountable. It's not an accident that Black people are addicted to crack.
Right.
It's not an accident that young Black men find themselves in a position to sell drugs. This is a strategy.
Yeah.
This was on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
It was an exploitation and overexploitation, and it was a war. We're in a war. So
Yeah.
when you talk about that and you look at like the young gentleman from Zion, I believe his name is James Linden. And I want to say before I talk about this, I want to show the most respect for the family of James Linden, and I'm not using this case to support any of my initiatives. I just want people to know what's happening.
Yes.
So what happened in his case is that a white man and a white woman from Algonquin came and purchased some drugs, according to the account, and then the woman overdosed.
Yeah.
And then the police, instead of charging the man, the white man, they said set up another drug deal.
Yeah. And then
with
we'll
who
arrest
you got
them.
it from. And so they came back, got the drugs, arrested him. This interchange happened in Lake County, but they took him to McHenry County
Yeah.
for
Wow.
the trial, which was all white, and they speedily
Yes.
convicted him.
Yeah.
And now he's in jail.
Right.
So this is all bad.
Yes.
Man, no,
This
that's
is all
terrible.
bad. Like you have to talk about the fact that you're like, oh, young black people are selling drugs. Capitalism
Why?
runs on the idea of supply and demand.
Yes.
Man.
White people from affluent places are coming
Yes.
into North. They're coming here
Yes.
to purchase the drugs.
From Algonquin, which is not a quick trip.
It's
Yes.
not a quick trip. It's
Yes.
not a quick trip. So where are the penalties for them for creating that
For-
market here?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be very honest. Black people have the least amount of power in the structure that is currently in place in the United States.
Exactly.
So you're not gonna tell me that black people solely are getting this cocaine and getting this crack from all these other countries.
Exactly.
and putting it here. You're lying.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because if we was doing that, we'd have fruit trees and we'd
Come
have
on
all
now.
sorts of stuff.
But they'll
Yeah.
stop at the drug dealer that sold it to the white girl from Algonquin. They'll stop it and they'll convict him, send him to jail. They won't set up another deal with his dealer and that dealer and follow the chain up to wherever the source of the drugs is. But they'll arrest the black person, convict him, and that'll be the end of it.
Yes.
Because
So
they know that the first thing a black person is going to do is take a plea.
yeah, but even if you look at the sentencing,
Right.
Even if and this is the thing that is problematic as well, is that someone who is truly educated and truly made aware of addiction in our tri-county area, we're different. We're different. You're not about to use erasure tactics and say all addiction is the same. Addiction clinically may be the same internally in your body, but the way it's treated is different for white people versus black people because of white supremacy.
Come
There
on.
is no debate about this.
Come on.
There is no debate. So to try to put white addiction directly next to black addiction in a marginalized community, especially one at North Chicago that doesn't have a grocery store, doesn't have a pharmacy,
Yes.
doesn't have proper educational spaces or therapy, that's not, you're not going to do that. And so what we're saying, we got into a lot of heated debates with people online. And what we're saying is, you need to come to North Chicago Walking Eden Zion correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to come to us correct because we deserve it to be done correctly. And I've been using the illustration that if you had a party for your family and your friends and your children, and you had somebody that was supposed to cook food, and they brought the food, but the food was raw, the food was undone,
Right.
the food was nasty, would you still serve it?
Yes. It is all a setup.
No, you would tell them, you need to take that back. We are hungry. We are hungry, but we're
Yes.
not going to eat that.
Yep.
Right.
You
Right.
going to
You
have to do
can't.
better. And that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying is that, you know, and even we have to do the work as a community to understand what harm reduction services are.
Yes.
And to understand, should they include crack pipes? Should they include snorting kits? Should they include needles? What is it supposed to look like? Because we are going to have to stand up and be
Yes.
trained to provide these services to our brothers and sisters. And then that goes into more therapy for us
Yes.
because we've been taught very weird ideas about how to treat our brothers and sisters with mental illness, how to
Man.
treat our brothers and sisters suffering from drug addiction. We've been taught to just dismiss them.
Yep.
Yes.
And that they're a nuisance, and that if you
Yep.
see them while you're walking into the store, you have to just like away with them.
Turn your
Yeah.
head
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So we have to go through that therapy. We have
Yeah.
to learn how to, you know, I suffer from a misunderstanding of even my uncle, who he passed away due to issues surrounding his substance abuse.
Mhm.
But during the time that he was doing this thing, my dad just was like, okay, cut off. You just
Right.
you don't get to engage
Right.
until you're clean. And we've been taught that for a long time. That that's
Yeah,
just
we have.
you cut them off, and then they'll start being regular.
Yeah. 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 Like they'll just heal on their own.
And that's, we have to say that doesn't work.
When we have to understand that it is an illness. It's an illness.
Addiction is an illness.
It's illness. It's
It
illness.
is.
You can't imagine somebody sick and throwing up, and you mean to them.
Exactly.
Imagine somebody going through an issue with their body, and you think it's best for you to leave them outside the liquor store for them to beg.
Right.
That is not okay, and we have to
Right.
start saying that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why the way we're doing the protest is very much encouragement and affection based.
Yeah.
So we just put up our donation link so that people can help us provide wellness kits.
Yes.
So we're gonna provide socks, Q-tips, soap,
There we go.
hygiene products, and other things, and nice little kits with little fanny packs that we can give to them. But we also want to train the community to have these wellness kits in your car, so
Yes.
that if you walking into TP's or you walking into wherever, and someone is saying, "Hey sis, you got a cigarette? You got whatever?" You can say, "I don't have a cigarette, sis, but I do have a wellness pack."
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is amazing.
That's the think
That
tank
is
mentality,
amazing.
right? Right, Billy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's amazing. So, Billy, can you tell them? Billy is asking either if you want to donate funds for them to get the products and the things for the wellness kit, or you can purchase items on your own. And he has both a donation center that he can tell you about, and he also can tell you where you can meet for the donations monetarily. Listen, guys, please, please, please. This is something that is necessary. Um, My brother really touched my heart. He changed. Let me tell y'all something. He gave me something to think about because initially, when I found out that this truck was out there, I was like, well, okay, they're doing this because they're trying to make sure that they have clean needles so that they don't pass them around so everybody is safe. But when I was listening to Billy, I understood and I realized, wait a minute though, they do come into our communities. They do plant drugs into our communities. They do come into our communities, but don't go into their own communities.
Yes.
So I was able to change my mindset on what I felt about it because of his video, really and truly. Because at first it was just like, okay, well, I guess they doing this to kind of, help. But the more we think about it, we have been oppressed. This is just another tactic of oppression that they have come to put in the middle of North Chicago.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is that I really want, some people are like, well, why are you trying to why are you trying to get rid of programs? And I'm going to tell you something. If somebody is right in what they're doing, they're going to respond with the rightness. You know what I mean? So if I'm challenging Live for Lolly, all I'm waiting for is for them to say, no, Billy's wrong. Here's how we provide all of these services, all of these wraparound services.
Mhm.
And I'll put my foot in my mouth. I'm
Yeah,
completely okay with that. I am completely okay with that because the fact of the matter is we have no community watchtowers. We have
hmm,
no
Man.
community guards.
we
So
don't.
if it takes me acting a fool and being embarrassed in order to state the need for us to be
It's
standing
necessary.
apart, that's fine. I'm willing to
Yeah,
take that L. I am. I really am. Because at the end of the day, as a citizen, you should be able to say, that building is doing this particular thing because I'm aware, I thought about it. And they gave me the content that I need to think about it.
There we go.
They explained themselves to me.
yeah.
We went through, there were so many programs that came through the North Chicago schools while I was coming through. I know Dare came through. There was some other ones that came through.
Hmm.
I don't know how much money was actually devoted to it. I don't know who got all that money, but I do know a lot of my friends ended up on drugs, and they definitely
Come
Yes.
on.
went through there. They
Yep,
definitely
Yes.
went through there. So
yep.
we need to be able to say, why is it that you keep getting the money to develop programs instead of just giving us the money and the power to develop and run these programs? Why is
In
it
our
Man.
communities
in
where
our
we
Man.
live.
Right.
if it's so successful, what you're doing, create a training program.
Yep.
Create a training program and invite citizens from North Chicago, Waukegan, and Zion to become certified to do that work and let them come
Do the
into the
work.
community and do the work. Because I trust that if that was the case, it would be their family that they're helping.
Absolutely.
And people were a bit taken aback by me saying it would feel different if it was black people doing it. And I want to be clear. It blows my brain that every other piece of our existence gets to be racist, and we don't
Yes.
get to openly express our desire to be around people that look like us.
Come on,
Man.
Billy.
That is disgusting.
Man.
You go to any
Yeah.
board, you go to any board at any of these 500 companies, you go to the board of Live for Lolly. It's all white. They like
Yep.
to be around people that look like them and think like them, and they keep it that way. Because if
On
Yes.
you
purpose.
didn't, there'd be Asian people up there, there'd be Latin and Spanish and Mexican and black, and there'd be all sorts of people on these boards. But
And most
Right.
of them are so far removed from the
The
concept
community.
and the purpose of what they're trying to achieve.
Oh,
They're so
right.
removed from it. Like
yes,
they have no idea of what's really going on in this community because,
Yeah.
like you said, they're in this truck, they're on 10th Street, but they're going back to Vernon Hills,
Whatever. Yeah,
Lincoln,
right.
wherever they're going, they're not products of this community. So
Yeah.
they come and they stay here for 4 hours, pass out their paraphernalia, feel real good about themselves. They go
Yep.
home
And then
and they
drive
live their
home.
life. And they come back next Thursday.
Yes, I mean, and that's the other thing too about oppression and white supremacy is that in its nature, it tells you that I can punch you in your face and then give you ointment and ask you
Yeah.
to say thank you.
Woo!
Come on, Billy.
And
They ask you
and
to say thank you,
we get
bro.
to say, no, 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 no.
It
If
Right.
you're
doesn't work like that.
destroying us, if you're destroying us, and you want to come in and provide solutions for the destruction, that
Yes.
don't sound right. So we
Right.
we do have a reason to be suspicious. We do have a reason to be critical, and we have the right to say, yo, you have done so much damage that we don't want to see you. We don't want to see you trying to help
Absolutely.
us.
That's right.
And that's the part about being oppressed and still being oppressed. We still have to use money with slave owners' faces on them.
Oh
We
God.
still
Man.
have to walk down streets named after people who were
Yeah.
Schools. We
malicious
have to
slave
go to
owners.
schools.
Yes.
Malicious slave
Yes.
owners.
Yes.
You know, we still have to walk around with statues of people who raped women, who ignored their biracial children. We still
Absolutely.
live in a medical society that was built on the torture of black women. They operated on black women with no anesthesiology.
Yes.
And these
Right.
people are called the father of medicine.
Right.
Woo.
You have to understand what's happening to us, and you have to validate it and say that
Yeah.
that is happening.
Yeah.
That is happening. You would never force a Jewish person to use a piece of currency with a Nazi on it.
Come
Man.
on, Billy.
You would
My
never do it.
goodness.
You would never
My
do it.
goodness. Listen,
This
y'all.
Billy boy.
I listen. I don't know about y'all, but Radical Radio been on fire.
What?
Okay, it's been
What?
we done started a whole fire. It's a whole fire going on. Okay, first and foremost, I want to tell y'all for all y'all that's watching the verses and all that, y'all missed out. Y'all missed out. Okay, y'all missed out. This right here ought to like light a fire in your belly. It ought to
It definitely
light a
has.
fire in your belly to make you understand why it is so important that we do the research and that we know where we come from and we know that we are so much better than what they want us to be and what they desire us to be. They want to keep their foot or their knee on our neck, but we can't let that happen. There's so much more that we have to gain by really doing the research and really speaking up and doing the work in our own communities. We have so much power, y'all. We have so much power. I want to thank Jerry. Jerry is she in the comments going crazy. She said, "Give us the solutions we request, not what you want us to have." She said they don't see the aftermath. Cashmere, thank you for joining us. Rio, thank you for joining us. Laco said the show was so dope and it was mind blowing. Billy, I just want to thank you for
Definitely
coming
thank you.
on to the show and giving our people something to
Yes.
really hold on to, be prideful about,
yes,
and get to work on. I want to thank you so much. If you guys have not shared this live, please share this live.
Definitely share it.
If you are in Lake County area, please connect with the think tank. Please, 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 please. I am asking you guys to please connect with the think tank. Billy needs us out here. If we cannot do anything, the one thing that we can do, and we can all make a choice to do it, is to unite. It is time for us to stand up and to unite with our brother and stand with our brother for the change that we desire and the change that we want to see in our communities. It is time for us to stand up and pull together. So, Billy, Radical Radio got you whatever you need from us.
Definitely.
We're here. I'll definitely be out on Thursday. I'm there.
yeah.
I want to pray for my brothers and my sisters if they desire it. I want to be out there. I want to make sure that I am a presence to make sure that I stand in solidarity with the think tank, Billy, and our community. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Do you have any last words for the audience, Billy?
I've been saying this quite often. Um, when I came back home this last time, I started saying, I don't blame any Black person for the choices they've made under great oppression.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that wherever you're standing right now, any kind of guilt or shame or feelings of unworthiness, that's not at the think tank. And I really want you to know that a lot of people may feel um, they may feel certain things when they see the way I talk or they see the places that I've gone, because you're used to people lording that over you. You're
Right.
used to people using it as a way to step over you, and it didn't do that for me. It made me feel way more connected to you. Made me feel way more related to you.
Right.
I really want everyone to know that you have a place in the think tank. You have a
Absolutely.
place in the think tank, and you have a place in North Chicago, Waukegan, and Zion.
Yes.
You have to know that this is your home, and
Mhm.
you have to feel proud about your home, and you can't ever let anyone tell you that your town is not everything. You live on the North Shore. You
Right.
have no idea. You
And it's
Man,
power that comes from these spots. So hey, there's plenty of power that comes from here.
yes. So feel
Definitely.
clearly,
powerful. Feel
Jay
clearly.
powerful.
Jay Allen, just I want to say Jay Allen said we lose our power every time we get a little money and move out of instead of building up our neighborhood. Billy Jerry says that she will be reaching out to you to be a part of the kits needed. What I really like about what you said is that you want to empower people in the community to have the kits in their cars. I want to say shout out. That is amazing. We used to do that in Georgia when I lived in Georgia. Like we always had kits to give out to homeless, and it's the most amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you the the feeling that you're doing something so great. It just gives you the feeling that you are there to support and love on your people.
Yeah.
That's what it gives you. It gives you the sense to know that you are supporting your community and you are loving on your people. So I love you guys. I thank you guys for joining us tonight. This was the most amazing show.
Amen.
I have never been speechless, and I was speechless tonight.
One of the most engaging conversations that we've had on Radical
Listen,
Radio. Honestly, like I think that you drew a lot of people in, Billy, and like
yes,
please just hey, we supporting you because we gotta keep this going because what it is beautiful.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Good
And,
night, you guys.
and I
Thank
want
you
to
guys.
say this
Oh,
too.
go ahead.
I want to say this too. That
Sure.
all of this work is going to be done in joy. It's going to be so fun. It's
Yeah.
going to be so fun, and I just want everybody to know that all of this marching, all this protesting, all of this work is going to be so fun. So
I
Yes.
like it. I love it.
I
I
love
love it.
it.
I love it.
yeah.
Listen, y'all. We done went over, but we don't care because this was
Definitely don't.
amazing.
Amen.
This could not be stopped. This had to continue on. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. Yes, this is Black Joy. This right here, this was nothing more than Black Joy. All of
Amen.
this, I'm telling you.
Big
I am
facts.
filled. So thank you guys for joining us. We hope that you will join us again. Go like, follow the think tank. Please go like and follow the think tank right now. We love you guys. Peace. Oh my goodness. We waiting on the